Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob.
And we are
Where It Takes Us.
In our video walking guides, you'll discover places of interest along the route, experience local landmarks, and learn some local history.
If you enjoy our video, please give us a like.
And don't forget, click the subscribe button to experience our other routes every step of the way. Today we are at Sand Point, North Somerset, so let's see where it takes us. This route starts at the car park near Woodspring Priory. Use what three words, switch, tomb, champions, for our exact location. As we start to approach the headland, you will eventually come to a fence which encloses the old MOD station. Turn right into the gate which is just behind the trees. From this point, you can also look across the bay and the River Banwell towards the Mendip Hills. Our next route will take in Burrington Combe across the Dalbury Warren and back around in a much bigger loop.
St Thomas's Head is an abandoned MOD base used mainly during the war to develop and test bombs, and the surrounding area was also used for practices by the RAF. The two Second World War shipwrecks that we visited on our Clevedon walk are clearly visible in the distance at the water's edge.
St Thomas's Head is located at the eastern edge of Middle Hope, a promontory on the North Somerset coast of the Bristol Channel, immediately north of Weston-super-Mare. It presents an archaeologically rich landscape with evidence of human activity stretching back to the Neolithic period.
And let it take me somewhere new tonight.
St Thomas Head was used up until about 2009 when it closed, and the site has been abandoned ever since. The site had two Nissan huts, now gone, that acted as workrooms, a store for explosives, one to record explosion data and control the detonating of explosives, along with two detonation points at the foot of the cliff. A long boat ramp and also a small docking platform remain. Originally, the site's location of Sand Point was entirely used by the MOD, allowing them a large open area to test in during the war. Eventually they moved to this less frequented end of Sand Point. Trials at Middle Hope included the development of a sea-borne version of Barnes-Wallis' famous bouncing bomb as used in the Dambuster raid. This was part of Project Baseball in mid-1943. Also, an expendable noisemaker, a rocket-propelled container that would burst open and scatter a variety of exploding objects to counter acoustic torpedoes, was developed here.
Feel the season changing, and I think it's about time realized.
A series of wildlife illustrations have been painted onto what remains of the old buildings. It says they're produced by Gauge Graphics. I don't know who these people are, but maybe if you're local, you could let us know in the comments below. Later prehistoric remains are particularly prominent, notably Bronze Age rain barrows, a probable hill fort, and several Iron Age Romano-British field systems. For many visitors, the landscape is dominated by the medieval site of the 13th century Augustine Woodspring Priory and an earthwork known as Castle Mound. It's believed to be the remnants of a motte and bailey, but may have earlier Roman or Iron Age origins. The path at St Thomas's Head is now closed, so follow the path along the fence back to the gate we came through, and then turn to follow our route.
I'm not chasing it, whatever tomorrow's gonna hold, I'll find my way.
At this point in our route, we can see a well-defined fill system which survives as a series of banks and lynchets and is readily identifiable on the ground over large areas. It is considered the system is medieval in origin. Field banks survive with associated fieldways, but the medieval fields are almost certainly overlaid upon an earlier Celtic field system of Romano-British or Iron Age origin. It seems probable that the Celtic field system originally covered the whole of the Down. We can see in greater detail how the earthworks look on this LiDAR map.
From the field system, we now join back onto the main path and follow the path along the coast as we head towards Middle Hope.
This little pebble cove of Middle Hope is backed by farmland and faces into the Bristol Channel with views across to South Wales. The murky water and the muddy low tide will probably be enough to put most people off the idea of swimming here. If not, the strong tidal current is sure to get all but the strongest cross-channel swimmer into trouble.
As I said before, I'm no great expert at wildflowers, but this is called Tansy ragwort, a rather beautiful yellow flower. There's a great app called Picture This that I use to take a picture of flowers, and then it will identify them and tell you what they are.
Sandpoint was once an island, and like Breandown, Iron Age settlements have been found here. Look out for swallows, greenfinches and skylarks soaring above, as well as butterflies such as gatekeepers and skippers. The Sandpoint Peninsula is managed by the National Trust and is noted for a variety of wildflowers and the grand views across the Bristol Channel to Wales. It is a natural pier into the Bristol Channel and is just north of Weston-super-Mare, which is just around the corner beyond Burnbeck Pier.
A line drawn between Sand Point and Lavernock Point in South Wales marks a lower limit of the Severn Estuary and the start of the Bristol Channel. The views are extensive north to the Severn Estuary, towards the two Severn Bridges, west to the hills of Wales and south to the Somerset coast. Also visible are two islands, Steepholm and Flatholm, both formed from the same limestone bedrock, which is part of the extensive formation that can be seen most readily in the Mendip Hills. Watch our video on Burrington Combe and the Mendip route to find out more. Post-1066 Norman, Motte and Bailey Castle is found here. This is a fortification with a wooden or stone keep situated on a raised earthwork called a motte. The motte is an artificial mound, this one about 30 metres in diameter and over 2 metres high, surrounded by a deep ditch. The ditch is visible here on the eastern side of the motte as an earthwork about 1.5 metres deep. Adjacent to the motte is the bailey. This feature is defined by a ditch surrounding the motte in the west and the steep natural slopes of the hill to the south and the north. Bowl barrows, the most numerous form of round barrow, are a funerary monument dating from the late Neolithic to the late Bronze Age period. Disc barrows are the most fragile type of round barrow dating from the early Bronze Age, 1400 to 1200 BC. It has been suggested that disc barrows were normally used for the burial of women, although this remains completely unproven. The bowl barrow here, the western of the pair, has a mound surrounded by a ditch. This has become infilled over the years. The top of the mound has a flattened appearance, and an OS triangulation point is now situated on the eastern side. As you walk across these top meadows, please be aware that there are often cows grazing in the fields here. So if you've got a dog with you, please make sure you keep him or her on a lead. Woodspring Priory was founded by Augustan canons soon after 1230, with associated fish ponds and field system, all situated on level ground just north of Soundereen. The monument is named after a spring which occurs in the northeastern part of the site and was originally known as War Spring. It was finally dissolved in 1536. The priory developed gradually over 300 years, culminating in significant changes in the 15th century, including the addition of a new perpendicular style church, infirmary and the tithe barn. Several of the original medieval buildings survive largely intact, including the 15th century infirmary. On the northwestern edge of the site is the 14th century tithe barn, which you can see in our video. The remains of a stone gatehouse are located to the west. Parts of the priory church also survive: the tower, the nave and the north aisle. The survival of elements of the priory church were largely the result of the structure being occupied of farmhouses during the dissolution of the monasteries. You can stay here through the Landmark Trust. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments or any helpful suggestions, please put them below. And don't forget to give us a like. Thanks for watching.